You're tuning to Floridian Rollo, and I'm your host, Floridian Rollo, coming at you with another live stream. What's up, people? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yes, I'm on the road, and so I want to talk about the situation going on in Denver, Colorado, that is. And there's a lot of massive layoff. They don't have the money to accumulate for the people in the city of Denver, and they owe a serious budget. And we know majority of the money went to different places. And I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of stuff going on in these northern regions, these northern west regions, these Midwest regions, and the Northeast regions, to where they're over the limit. They're expecting to raise the taxes on people, and it's not fair to the people. They trying to figure out ways to budget their situation. They overspend on people that came here, then the people that's born here, and it's like it's getting to a point that folks are trying to relocate to other various places. And so it's unfortunate. I'm not teaching doom and gloom. I'm just going by what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, and looking into it. And it's serious. It's a serious budget cost. So they have to cut off a certain amount of teachers, police officers, fire department. When you have to cut off the core of, certain situations, and you have to tell the staff, you have to tell the members, you have to tell the people what's going on, it makes them wonder, is it worth being in that particular place? Now, I have not ever been to Colorado. From what I was told, of course, it's the mountains like Utah. It's very beautiful, particularly during this time of year. I know it's very cold during the wintertime, especially in Utah. Yet when you go in the summertime, it's, more better, to go around this time of year because the temperatures is a little bit more warmer. And so I have not ever been to Colorado. Do I want to visit Colorado? Yeah, I'll visit Colorado soon. It's just that that's not a place that I would stay at. That's a place I would visit just to see what it's about. I won't go to particular places, of course, because, they do particular things there. However, I will visit just to say, okay, I visit Colorado on the bucket list. It's unfortunate. Once upon a time, Colorado was the place to go, a few years back, and it was a hot spot when a lot of people started leaving, certain other regions. Colorado was the spot. I mean, Deion made it popular, Deion Sanders, particular part of Colorado. Now you got a lot of people investing in that small town of Colorado because Deion is there. The truth of the matter is, when it all boils down to the reality, because it is reality, the budget is really affecting a lot of people's lives that really need the funds to do what they need to do. So there's a serious situation going on up there. And I know that the president talked about it kind of briefly, and I'm going to get that video, situated. I'm going to get a lot of things situated, what's going on in these regions, what's going on in these states, so that you could be aware if you're not, catching on to what's happening. Like I said, I'm thinking positive. I'm just, reporting what I'm noticing, and it's just unfortunate because a lot of these places have some great history, and it's being tainted by these fakers who want to force you to be down with the Ibarasi type of situation. Yeah, so like I'm telling you, it's a very nice day today. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can see the view. Y'all can see the lovely view out here. You know, supposed to rain later on and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, it's just a lot of stuff going on in this world, and it's unfortunate because Colorado has some great monumental stuff going on, and the people are tired of being taxed and being taken advantage of, you know. So I would say if you are an investor, if you really want to invest in some homes, you know, or property and rent them out, it's just going to be tough because there's a high vacancy. The thing that y'all don't realize, there's a lot of vacancy in these northern east regions, these northern west regions, and the Midwest. And I consider Colorado the Northwest. And so, all mountain time. Mountain is the Northwest. It's all Northwest to me. Even though it's mountain time, I consider it part of the West. And so, my thing is that a lot of these places that was once sought after a few years back is no longer sought after. People are not even putting it on their bucket list. I talk to people that come down here from different various places, and they like, I visit maybe a day or two. I won't stay there. There's places now that people will go for a couple of days and then they go right back to their hometown or another state to travel, to extend their travel, and then they go back to where they come from. That's really what's going on. Like, there's people like, yeah, I'll go visit New York. I'll just go there for 2 days, get a couple of things, and, you know, take a couple of photos, and then I'm out. They're not staying. There's not no extension, if that makes sense. People will pay the 2 days for the flight, get there, do what they need to do, and they out. They're not even staying that long. And that lets you know how serious this is, y'all. This is not a game. Like, people are really like, even Vegas, they'll go to Vegas for 2 days, maybe 3, just to say, okay, because of the extension of the hours, and then they right back to work like it was nothing. There's no more longer stays. Like here, right? There's extensions of people staying at hotels. There's extensions of people staying at hotels, right? And the extension is so serious. It's so serious that you try to get a room, you can't even get a room for your favorite spot because it's booked out, sold out. A lot of hotels ain't sold out like that in other places like that. They're not sold out. You know what I'm saying? They're not sold out at all. So think about what I'm saying. This Colorado situation should, you know, get y'all on to what's going on economically in these states. And from what I'm hearing, they're trying to campaign a situation for people to come, and people are not even going for it. They're not going for it, y'all. They're like, no, we're not doing it. We don't want to do it. And I'm saying, wow, this is getting serious. People don't want to invest in these hotels, and some of these hotels, in order to keep up the pace with other states, they need the money to come in. I put it to you like this. Like, most hotels I've been to here in Florida, they upgrade it every year. It's upgraded. Why? Because there's so much money coming in, so they invest back into the property, and it's so much sold out. Because it was this one hotel I went to a couple of years back. I went to there recently. I'm like, whoa, it's a different change. Same owner, everything. They just upgraded the beds, upgraded the room, fixed it, like detached the whole room, got people to fix the room, make it more stronger and better. I was like, dang. Excuse me. I was like, dang. That's what's missing in these other places. It's not welcoming. Now Colorado is not a welcome state for people that wants to visit. They'll probably go there for 2 days and just stamp their state. That's it. I know people right now won't say it. They like, yo, I'll just go there just to go there. I'm not staying. I'm not going to invest. If I do, I do. I'm just not really into it. I just want to put it on my bucket list, just to say I was there. So you gotta pay attention to that, because if you're a person that may want to move to these particular places, you got to ask the people from there what's really going on. Ask the locals, and they'll give you the answer. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, every state wants to have their budget to where they don't have to go into their pockets. Now, these people got to go into their pockets, and they don't want to go into their pockets. They want to go into your pockets. The thing is, how do you expect a state to stay strong if it don't do right by the people? And that's why people need to take the book from the state of Florida, because it does right by the people. Now, if the people is not doing what they're supposed to do, down here there's going to be consequences. I already told you that. That goes for anywhere, especially here. So, me personally, I'm like, yo, it's a fortunate situation. Dion tried to make it hot, make the small town a lot of money, which he did. At the same time, like, people is like, okay, it's wearing off. Like, they want to be living good. They want to know that they are going to be taking care of their families. They don't want to hear this, oh, why this got to happen? Why this got to happen? Why are you not stepping down, is what they're saying. And so, it's a fortunate situation. Will I visit Colorado? Absolutely, I will visit Colorado. I have to visit Colorado. It's only the right thing to do. Definitely got to visit it. I just would not stay there that long, though. What I will do is do maybe 2 days there, then 2 days another state, and then come back to Florida. You know what I'm saying? In the near future. That's about that, you know what I'm saying? Because actual travelers, that's what they're doing right now. Like elite travelers, they're not doing extensive stays unless it's somewhere that is hot. It's the hot spot and it's lit. Then that's that. Like, I know people that go to New York for 1 day that's from here, that move down here. They go to New York for 1 day and come right back to Florida. They do what is called 24 hours. I'm in New York, see family, get a couple of things I need to get from the store, bring it right back on the plane. They right back down here the same day. Yep. That's what people are doing now. Nobody's staying longer, man. Nobody's staying longer in these places. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's staying longer in these places. For real. Nobody's staying longer. Let me get something. I got to get something from the house real quick. I'll be on camera in a second. Oh, man. Okay. 1 second, y'all. Let me see if I got anything. Okay, nothing in there. Supposed to be receiving some mail. Nothing came today. Probably come tomorrow, but it'll probably be here later on. So yeah, give me 1 second. All right, y'all. I have to get some stuff taken care of. So, like I was saying, think about what I'm saying. In all seriousness, it's an unfortunate situation what's going on in Colorado. The budget situation. So what I'm gonna do is let y'all hear the clip. I gotta look for my thing. Where I put it at? 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to figure out where I put it at so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. It's not there. Let me see if I put it. Oh, it's right in front of me. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. While I set it up. Make sure you double tap the like button on your way in. Double tap the like button. Double tap the like button on your way in, y'all. All right? Double tap the like button on your way in. Let me get the clip. Let me show you what's going on. I know everybody's asleep, taking care of stuff. So people will catch the replay, the playback. And let me... No. I don't know why that came on. I can't believe that they do that. Always send me to a short. Denver, Colorado, budget. Okay, I got it ready.
When you see that you have less money, you have to balance the budget to make it work. That's what every business in this city does. That's what every family in the city does. It's what this government should do.
Denver's mayor announcing major cuts, furloughs, and potential layoffs for city workers today as the city looks to cut its general budget by 12%.
That's more than what we saw during the pandemic when it was slashed by 10%.
Wow.
Johnson also indicating there is more pain ahead as the city faces massive revenue gaps this year and next year. Your investigator, Brian Moss, has been working on these budget issues for weeks.
Yeah, Brian joins us live in Denver tonight. So, Brian, how deep is this hole?
Denver is definitely behind the eight ball here. The hole is pretty deep, according to the mayor, due to stagnant revenue growth for the city and increasing costs of running city government. The mayor...
Due to stagnant growth, what does that mean? A lot of people leaving Colorado. That's the stagnant growth. There's no growth going on because if the people leave with their currency name, that means there's no money coming in. There's not that much money coming in. If there's not that much money coming in, you have to cut staff, you have to cut police, you have to cut fire department, you have to cut the major of your budget. You can't pay these people if people are not paying taxes and then people are not coming in and visiting. They're not getting that much visitors coming into Colorado. Let's continue.
And today, that for the remainder of 2025, the city is facing a $50 million gap in revenues. And for 2026, a $200 million projected deficit for the city of Denver.
Wow.
And with that, An immediate hiring freeze for the city started today, and the city workers will start taking furlough days in June.
Wow.
The truth is, this is hard, and this is going to be hard. The first to feel the budget squeeze, city workers will have to take between 2 and 7 furlough days off, depending on how much they make. What are you going to cut? Well, I'm going to first take the most furloughs of any employee in the city. I mean, our senior appointees will. I'll take 7 furloughs. I'll write a check back to the city for those days. And then I'm going to look at every single dollar we spend in the mayor's office in terms of travel.
Everybody's getting to deal with the pinch for the most part. If you can't take care of the people, you can't take care of the roads, then how you expect people to stay if this is going to continue? See, this is where you got to give the Most High, you got to get right with Christ, you got to go in your prayer closet, and you got to stick positive. You people in Colorado, you people in the Northeast, the Midwest, the Northwest, you have to pray for better days ahead. You the people, you have to do that. You have to go in your closet. You got to say, Lord, what is going on? Because obviously the devil is trying to get you in fear. I'm not pushing fear. I'm just pushing what they are going through. They also dealing with it. Even though they got their comfortability, they're going through it too. Let's continue.
In terms of food, in terms of contracts. So we'll look at all those. We'll be doing the same thing
Food.
every department does. How are we going to make cuts? And we'll start with all those discretionary spending. So we'll start that tomorrow. A city hiring freeze starts now, and layoffs, said the mayor, are inevitable. While there's been much criticism of how much Johnston has spent on homelessness and if that's contributed to this budget pinch, the mayor batted that away, saying that's been an investment in city growth. So we do not have any encampments in our city center. We don't have any large encampments anywhere in the city. If you are running a business in the city or have a home in the city, that is a transformational change that makes you more likely to do business here or live here. Along the same lines, he was hopeful that revitalizing downtown will bring back visitors willing to spend money and buff up the city's.
Then I just talked about that, and I didn't watch this video. Didn't I just tell y'all that when I was in the car? They're not getting that many visitors. Visitors are not visiting. Visitors make up for a lot of the money revenue. If you don't have people coming in, that's an issue. That affects the airline industry too. Let alone transportation, people that depend on people to come visit. If you have nobody visit your town, your city, that is a problem. Tourists make up a lot of the funds that is allocated back into the business. Yeah, the mayor, the governor gets a certain percentage, and the police, and they get their cut before you get your cut at the same time. That's the way it's supposed to be. Because if they don't get their cut, then how you expect things to be safe? And that's going to bring less people into your place. So let's rewind that back. Let me play it again, because they saying what I'm saying. That's what I know the Lord is working through me, because he's confirming what I'm saying. Here we go.
Live here. Along the same lines, he was hopeful that revitalizing downtown will bring back visitors willing to spend money and buff up the city's bottom line. We have to do 2 things. As I said, you have flattening revenue, you have increasing costs. You have to do 2 things. You have to both drive increases in your revenue to recover, and you have to drive reductions in your costs to make those 2 lines meet.
Wow.
So we will do both of those things. He said city government has been growing at unsustainable levels and will have to get smaller, faster, and more efficient. But what does all this mean for Denver residents? What's the impact going to be on the people who actually live in Denver?
Here we go.
We can right-size this budget while minimizing any impact on services. Much of what's going to happen, the impacts of current and future cuts, is unclear and unknown right now. And there are great reasons to believe that when this city faces hard challenges head-on, we come out the other side better.
Okay.
Also ahead, the mayor indicated that city agencies may have to face some pretty deep budget cuts, and there may be some consolidation ahead for city agencies. And what may be an understatement, Mayor Johnston told city workers today there may be tough times ahead. Reporting live, I'm Brian Moss, covering Colorado First.
All right, Brian, thank you.
I'm going to take it to New York. I want to show y'all something. I'm gonna add New York to this New York vacancy. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let me look for the video. There's a big vacancy going on in New York City right now. Let me see if I find it before I get on out of here. This is serious, y'all. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money being cut. That's a lot of money that you have to do furloughs. Ooh wee. That's why I say you gotta pray for your city, pray for your town, pray for the people, man. Y'all gotta do that. Y'all gotta do your part. You're in a particular state, you gotta do your part. You play a big role into the change that could happen. Things ain't what it used to be. Things are changing, like Brainwave said. Things is changing. You gotta adapt. I'm trying to find it right now. Oh my goodness. I'm scrolling through. I didn't even get to download the video, which I'm gonna have to start doing now. How you doing, Tanya? So 100. How you doing? I'm thinking of. Let me see. I'm thinking that this is not it. Oh man, where's it at? I think I'm coming up to it. I didn't even download the video. Let's see. A lot of these places have. Okay, I got it. Here we go.
Now to a growing problem here in the city, the need for affordable housing and not enough apartments to go around. So imagine the surprise when we learned that.
Hold on, let me rewind it. What's up, Corey?
Now to a growing problem here in the city, the need for affordable housing and not enough apartments to go around. So imagine the surprise when we learned that thousands of NYCHA apartments are currently vacant. Linda Schmidt talked to a city councilman who is now demanding answers.
Here we go.
Well, critics say NYCHA is taking too long to fix apartments once a tenant moves out in order for another tenant to move in. Here at the Red Hook houses, officials say there are about 300 apartments that are currently sitting empty. It's deep.
In Red Hook projects, 300 vacancies. And it's saying that it takes 2 years for them to fix one apartment. 300 vacancies. That's a lot.
Troubling, and this is why we've had the hearing. We continue to push NYCHA to be more transparent.
NYCHA taking some heat from Brooklyn City Council member Alexa Aviles.
What we've seen is this trend of NYCHA warehousing or just having a growing stock of empty apartments when we have a housing crisis.
The council's Public Housing Committee holding a hearing earlier this week, demanding answers as to why it takes NYCHA more than a year to fix and clean vacant apartments so new tenants can move in. At a time when the city is facing a critical shortage of affordable housing, officials say nearly 6,000 NYCHA apartments are vacant across the city, and there are about
6,000 NYCHA places is vacant. You have to times that by 2, that's 12,000 people or more that has left New York, NYCHA. And they don't have the manpower to get those places fixed because during the time of blink blink, a lot of people didn't take it. A lot of people didn't take it. They didn't take the blink blink. A lot of people in NYCHA didn't take the blink blink throughout the 5 boroughs. And so those people didn't go back to the gate. Once everything's settled and you don't have to take blink blink, excuse me, then those people didn't go back. They found something else to do. They moved to another state, found other opportunities, took their family with them, and they're not returning back to New York. So this vacancy is not only with NYCHA, it's vacancy in these high-rise complex too. I'm just pointing out that, the hood, people are leaving the hood in droves because they can't afford to live in the city. They can't afford it. Even if they're on a fixed income, they cannot afford to live there because things are pricing them out. They try and figure out other ways to make money and they getting less sleep. So it's difficult for them to maneuver when you barely getting by. You got people out there working 3 gigs in New York City, still getting by. And not everybody's above their means. They calculate budget. They may sacrifice this, sacrifice that for that. They just like, yo, you know what? I got to do something better than this. This ain't cutting it. All right, let's continue.
140,000 families on a waiting list.
How many families?
Nearly 6,000 NYCHA apartments are vacant across the city, and there are about 240,000 families on a waiting list.
240,000 families on a waiting list? That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And this is just New York City. I could only imagine in these other states what it is. Ooh, man. So that tells me that it's a lot of families living in cars, living in these hotels, living in shelters. It must be skyrocketing then because of this. They waiting to get in this, low income type of environment. And they've been waiting years and years and years. That's bad. Anyway, let's go.
Just this really serious, persistent need of folks waiting years and years and years.
NYCHA issued a statement saying in part that it works as quickly as possible to turn around apartments for new tenants while ensuring that they are being placed in safe homes that have undergone lead and asbestos abatement, and that apartments typically need significant repairs that involves multiple skilled trades such as carpentry, plastering, and painting. Councilmember Aviles is sponsoring a bill that would mandate NYCHA submit a yearly report explaining why vacant apartments have been empty for more than 30 days.
Listen, there's a lot of people that's in carpentry, painting, and skill sets have left New York City. They left New York City. You barely see them. I haven't been to New York, so I don't know what's going on. You barely see these men and women, because women do the job too. You don't see them out there. When I left New York, I barely see them. You know what I'm saying? When I seen, parts of the hood in Williamsburg, Greenpoint, Flatbush, you barely see them around because a lot of them have left New York. They took whatever FRAs, took their cut, took their savings, boom, moved to the South. That's what's going on. They're having a hard time finding people to work in NYCHA now. Very hard. And they pay pretty good. And people don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. Because they're looking at the end of the year. Oh my, I'm doing all this work and I'm not even getting nothing to provide for my family or my kids. And you know how it is, y'all. You know how it is. So this is very, very serious. I'm going to tell you this. When you fall on hard times, listen well. When you fall on hard times, you have to ask yourself this question. What did you do that the economic had to teach you a lesson? Let me tell you from my experience. When I was considered to be on my last dollar, and it was hard for me to find work, I kept doing content. I kept a composure. I didn't give up. I didn't quit. It looked like all odds against me. I know what my goal is. I just need one gig. I don't care how much it is. I don't care if it's, you know, 15, 14 an hour, 13 an hour, 12 an hour. At that point, I was just like, I want to do something to get me back to Florida. And I know eventually my life will change. So I want to say this to you. Whatever type of gig you get, make the process of getting your stuff together and then make that next step and your whole life could change. Because I'm going to tell you something. Some of you are working what you consider, I don't know, I can't get through job. Let me speak from experience. I wasn't always successful and I wasn't prideful. I humbled myself. I took what was available. It wasn't that much money. However, I had responsibilities too. And there was times I was dealing with women that had their responsibility. You see, I'm telling you what I know. And I'm telling you, I made things do what I had. So what I'm trying to get y'all to see is, whatever you get into, make it do and do better. Upgrade. When you get into a gig, some of you in the gig, you're not trying to promote yourself to be supervisor, manager. I don't know why. Let me ask you this question. I want to talk to y'all. Some of you in the hospitality, some of you in the medical field, some of you into different fields. Why you don't want to upgrade your status? Become supervisor, manager, lead. Why you stay stuck and then complain about you getting by? I had to do something. I had to sacrifice a lot to get what I needed to get. If I wanted a vehicle, Rollo had to sacrifice staying away from places, people, and things to get a vehicle. If you want to get a gig, you have to stay away from people, places, and things. You have to get your mind clear. You have to get to your goal. Nobody's going to hand you anything. Nobody. Once I realized that, I had to do what I had to do. Sure, people support it, and I'm gratitude for that. At the same time, I still had to do what I had to do. And for those who have children, you should want to get yourself into a more situation. You shouldn't think about no relationship. You shouldn't think about connecting with people. Get yourself together. Because I'm going to tell you something. When somebody got their self together and you're not fully together and they're giving you necessary steps to do what you need to do what you need to do before you meet the person. I made sure I was not around certain people until I got my stuff together because it's not fair to them. It's not fair to them. They got their stuff together. Why is I'm going to be in their way? Think about what I'm saying. This is a very serious conversation because it's like a lot of people is trying to hold on to somebody and they want to bring you down and then they up and they move on. No, it ain't working like that. It's not going to work like that. It's time for you to get your stuff together, get in your prayer closet, stop worrying about what this person doing, what that person doing. Get yourself together. And that's what I had to do. You at the site, pray strong. Pray for everybody around you. Pray for better days ahead. Stop thinking down on yourself. Stop thinking, I'm on my last dollar. Let me tell you something. And I'm not tooting my horn. I was supporting people even when I didn't even have all the money together. You know why? Because I did it from the heart. I supported people. I looked out for people because I know I did the right thing. Even though I was not fully together, I still did what the Most High told me to do, and I did it from the kindness of my heart. And that's why I have the things going on in my life I got going on in my life, because I was moving correctly. Stop being in fear. Man, that's my last $5, man. I don't know. I'm scared to spend it. You don't know that last $5 could change your life. Remember what happened with the woman? She gave her last thing. It wasn't worth that much, and she was really taken care of. Something to think about. Listen, I'm going to get on out of here. I'm going to go back out on the road, do what I need to do. Appreciate it, Corey. Remember, Tanya So 100, everybody tuning into the show. Hopefully, I learned something from this situation. It's unfortunate. However, the solution is get right with the Most High through Christ. Get your health together. Focus on the paper. Deal with people accordingly. And deal with opposite sex accordingly. So with that said, I'm out. Appreciate you for tuning into the show. Make sure you like the video. Looking forward to seeing what you got to say in the comment section. Brown royalty to the people. We the business.